I once read or heard Alan Watts say that one of the main reasons we don't know what we want is because we already have it. And that just popped into my mind. Um, I was watching a video that was encouraging people to get in touch with what it is they want, what their purpose is. Um, and it feels like an organic process for me. Like it just kind of shows up. Oh, I guess this is what I want because this is what's happening, is sort of the sense of it. And it's felt for a while now like it's hard to know what I want. And I was just having the thought that maybe that's because it's happening. And I had this sense that maybe it's always happening. Maybe we're always getting what we want, but it might not be what a certain perspective that we experience the world from wants. That there's one within us that maybe we could call it like the kind of default version of ourselves, or one that's largely running on conditioning, that probably wants the same thing as really any other part of us, but just has different ideas of how to go about that, how to create what we want. And for me, it's the feeling of that part of me thinks there's a lot more efforting, a lot more trying, a lot more doing involved, in a way that feels less effortless, that feels like pushing against something or having to do things maybe that we don't really want to do to create what we want. And more, I feel like that's not, it doesn't have to be that way. Partially because life is just the moment. So if I'm doing something I don't want, that's all that exists, is that moment of being a no to something and doing it anyway. And that doesn't feel quite right. So yeah, it's this sense of everything is what I want. And that's why I'm like, I don't have clarity around what's happening next, because it's a trust. It's a trust that what happens next organically is what I want. So this idea of, I was just reading in a book, it was talking about, if you do think about the future, think about what you want to create. And that's what kind of got me on video, because I was sort of blanking, and then that Alan Watts quote came up. It's like, because part of me says, oh, I want to travel the world. But then something in me hesitates and is like, you're sure you're not good right where you are? You got a pretty perfect situation to rest right now and commune with nature. Those might be a couple of your top things that you really actually want. And sure, traveling, you could do some of that too, but it feels more complicated. And maybe what you're wanting is simple. And it does feel like I'm often drawn to simplicity. And where I am right now is simple. And I don't have a lot of things I need to worry about. Maybe that's ultimately the perfect thing for my being at this time. There's parts of me that want more specific forms of connection. But then I'm like, are you sure you want that? Are you sure this isn't a time for more solitude, dropping in with yourself? dropping in with nature, with family. I'm staying with family. Because when I feel into like the idea of relationship or navigating some of the energies that come with romantic relating, there's like a hesitation in me, like, is that actually what I want right now? I feel open to that showing up and feeling a yes, a mutual yes. But in some ways it feels like, I don't know. I don't know if that's really what I actually want right now. And there's so many beautiful people I'm connecting with virtually, and that feels so good, so amazing. And it's kind of like a comfort zone right now to have there be that spaciousness because it's virtual. And there's little bits of in-person connection, but not as much as I've been used to. I've been in relationship most of my life. So I notice when I'm not, like right now, at least not in romantic, sexual, like traditional relationship, I've got beautiful relationships with people. And some of them we share physically, but not really sexually. Um, share intimacy in different ways. So maybe part of it's just adjusting to something different and new. And part of me has got this patterned response to being single or feeling single, where I'm like, okay, next person. And it feels like that there's much less charge around that right now. And that sense of, I'm not sure if that's what I'm actually wanting or looking for. What feels more alive for me is friendship, really cultivating deep friendships, and then those friendships can include whatever they include. And I don't know if that makes me poly or monogamous or what, or neither, something else. Because really, I just want heart connection. And to know myself as love and experience myself as love in the presence of others. So my life is so open, and anything can happen, and anything can show up in any moment, and I have the freedom to be a yes to many things right now. But there's not really a sense of urgency to move from where I am. And I think that might be because I already have what I want. It's already happening. And in some ways it feels like it's not even dependent on circumstance. It's more of, like I was saying earlier, just trusting that whatever shows up is what I want on a level beyond the part of me that thinks it's not what I want. Beyond that part of me's understanding. Or beyond that that part of me's availability to see a broader perspective of what's happening is actually creating what it also wants. It's just more used to a more direct path to that and more instant gratification. And it doesn't always understand the scenic route, savoring different parts of the journey and different explorations that actually open us to be more available for the things that all the different parts of us desire, which is ultimately to experience ourselves as love, ourself as love. Because that's who and what we are. I'm good. It's so beautiful here. There's so much spaciousness physically and in terms of time to just be and flow and bombard Facebook with my creative expressions like this one. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Thank you to everyone that watches. And I guess not just Facebook, but YouTube as well. Hello, YouTube. I've been posting my videos there. So I'll drop a link in the comments for anyone that wants to check that out. Bye-bye.